All right, welcome back. Now, I don't have much time today for this live stream, so I'm going to most definitely talk more on this subject Sunday, sometime Sunday. But I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and I've seen discussions about it online, and I haven't really gotten into it myself. But I want to deal with the pandering that you see from specifically Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed. I just wanted to give my take on their pandering. First is Umar. Umar, I think, is dangerous because of his influence and the things that he is saying. Because women out in the world start to expect everything that he's saying. Expect for black men to be simps. To accept as if black men are out here accepting anything like disrespect. Don't put that kind of energy out here that we need to accept a baby mama, a black woman who got multiple kids by different men, that we need to put down all of our morals and all of our standards, just throw them out the window, because see, that dehumanizes black males. This is what Umar needs to understand. Umar and everybody needs to understand. Black men are evolving. We are no longer putting up with the same things that our forefathers, our great grandfathers put up with. I've been trying to tell people this, and a lot of listeners think that I'm trying to stroke black men's ego. I'm not. If you look at the layout of history, black men evolve. They don't stop evolving. And black women have become stagnant. That's where the disconnect is. That's the root of why black families are falling apart. It's because overall, black men's narrative is different from black women's narrative. So, all due respect, this is very important issue to deal with. I don't like the way they sweep it under the rug as if 1 in 4 black women being married is not a problem, is not a threat to our very existence. But Tariq and Umar, they are in a business. They're in a business. They have decided to make a living off of black Americans directly. That requires that you move in a totally different way. And simply put, they can't afford, especially, I don't know who is more so of this case than the other, but they cannot afford to be critical of black women the way a person like Kevin Samuels was. Now, here's a good way or a good example that I could give you as a comparison. For a while, us in the so-called black manosphere, see, this was a grassroots thing. Black men's criticisms, our objections, our responses to the things that's been said about us, the dehumanizing, the demonizing our image, our take has never been platformed on mainstream media, as we all know. We had to fight from the mud. We started out putting our objections on YouTube. Everybody knows this, especially people from the old school. If y'all go to my SBW channel, there's a video on there where I listed, I think, a few dozen black male channels who were critical of black females. Back then, there was a whole army of black male content creators putting black men's take, black men's opinion out there for the world. And what happens is every now and then somebody will blow up. Somebody from our set. Y'all remember the rapper Lil Durk? There's a rapper named Lil Durk out of Chicago. He came out around 2011. Well, he was from a gang in Chicago called the Black Disciples. And if I'm not, no, Chief Keef. I know y'all heard of Chief Keef. He was the first Black Disciple to blow up out of Chicago. So when he blew up, basically his gang blew up. So a voice from their set was getting worldwide attention, and it made Chicago hot. So their opposition also blew up. The world became interested in Chicago and Chicago gangs. It was like, who is this? Who is the BDs? Who is Chief Keef? Oh, Chief Keef doesn't like this gang. And then people, oh, who is this gang? So even the opposition of Chief Keef and his gang blew up. And the gangster disciples, who were their ops, didn't have a nationwide voice like that. None of their rappers blew up. Chief Keef got signed to a major record label. None of the GDs got signed to a record label. Until a few years later, then the GDs had FBG Duck, who was then signed to Sony Music. Now they both gangs had a nationwide, worldwide, global rap star. The same thing happened in this sector of in YouTube. And the first really big person from our set who was pushing our narratives was Kevin Samuels. He had over 1 million subscribers, and hundreds of thousands to millions of people were listening to him. And that's why women, especially black women, did not like him. That's why they mocked him after he died. So many black women hated Kevin Samuels and had a problem with him because he was critical of black women. So my point here is we don't need Tariq to do it. We don't need Umar, even though it would help. In my opinion, us over here, the black men who are critical of Keisha culture, of black women, we are the most pro-black group of black men out here. I don't care what nobody say. We're the most pro-black because we're trying to fix the problems. Don't tell me you care about a house that you don't do any maintenance on. Don't tell me you care about yourself if you eat pizza every night. You understand what I'm saying? This sect over here is looking at problems in black America and saying that they need to be fixed. And you can ignore this problem if you want. It ain't going nowhere. 1 in 4 black women are still getting married. No other group of women repel men as much as black American women. That's just a fact. Now, I'm going to let y'all hear this. And in my opinion, I think Tariq could have handled this differently. Listen to this.
But another additional question that I have for the FBA or the African American sister is that why can they not be like the boys? Like, when you see the African American brothers, they grow their natural hair. And I might come off as like, like a person that have a loaded question.
Slow down.
He said when you see the African American men, they grow their hair. Why can't black American women be like the boys? I believe some of these guys are listening to us. That's all this is about. They're listening to us. They're like, oh yeah, but why are you a Somalian calling in worried about it? You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a valid point.
Wait, who what? Who what?
Let me put into perspective. You gotta let me like, how the African American sister put on wigs, right?
Some of them.
So why can they not like grow the natural Afro hair and basically nurture that hair and actually embrace it instead of putting on a wig?
Hold on. Let me put this in perspective.
And I'm not
Hold on. Wait.
No.
No.
Yeah,
let me just soak in this question. So a Somali.
No, I didn't. How
Hold
did
on,
Somali
hold
get
on.
here?
No, no,
I
no,
just
no, no,
asked
no,
the
no,
question.
no,
Can you
no,
address
no,
the
no, no.
question
We
to me,
got it. No,
please?
no, no. I'm just soaking in the question. I'm just looking at the
Or
question.
you answer your question with a personal attack.
No, 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 no. But a Somali from Somalia with the
What does that have to do with
with the
anything?
hugest foreheads on the planet
Okay,
Earth,
at least we embrace the foreign. We're proud of it. As an East African, Ethiopians,
with
Eritreans,
hairlines
Somalis,
that's
we embrace it.
with hairlines that start behind your ears.
That's like 1% of the population, I think, of
No,
the whole East
sir.
Africa.
So we know where Tariq's going with this. How can a Somali with a big forehead question what black American women do with their hair? And of course, I deal with stuff like this, but at the same time, I get where Tariq is coming from. Like, what? Worry about your own women. Your women are doing the same thing black American women doing. Now, granted, there may be more natural black women over there in Somalia, but man, y'all's country over there in Africa, y'all need to stop perping as if all the black women over there are natural. You go to those urban areas over there in Africa, they're doing the same thing. They're like the leaders of these raggedy, janky, goofy looking wigs. So stop it.
Come hair
No,
don't
no,
grow
I'm not
on
telling you. I'm
sisters.
asking a question. Of course, you could talk shit.
Yeah,
I
sisters,
let that slide.
no, no, no.
Coming from a
Sisters
big
hair,
brother.
sir.
You see, Tariq, if you notice, not only does he sidestep being critical of black women, he sidesteps being critical of black men too. He sidesteps being critical of black people, period. Because I believe Tariq is he's in the feel good business. He is in the field, just like a church pastor. That's how I look at the churches. Feel good, feel good, feel good. It's all about making black people feel good. And they know that black people don't feel good when you're talking about their issues. You can't just you can't make a name out of holding black women accountable, questioning, the things that they do, which the things that they do contribute to our very destruction. And the biggest thing I don't like about what Tariq does and what he's doing recently is like he's talking as if it's not important for kids to grow up with their fathers. Here recently, he was talking about how black American families are not really in bad shape. As if he referred again to that CDC study where it said that black men who were active in their kids' life were more active than other races of men. And again, I think that's being misinterpreted. Go and check it out yourself. That report from the CDC was saying it did a study on the black men who were active in their kids' life. There's no way to monitor or to find out how many black men are active in their kids' life. There's no way to document that. So you can't be pro-black and not deal with the destruction of black families is basically what I'm saying. And the destruction of black families is coming from the fact that black men have standards now. They are not accepting any and everything. Now it really started with black women's acceptance of government provided handouts, government crumbs, where the government tried to play as a substitute father. If black women rejected that on a mass level, it would have never had an effect on black families. But it was almost needed because obviously feminism, that's another thing. Here recently, Tariq argued that black women reject feminism. Shout out to Red Supreme, who also did a video on this. Tariq was arguing that black women reject feminism. Now, we all know that's not true. I even saw black women saying Tariq is just pandering. But the truth is, black women were the first feminists. Black women were living life as feminists before the concept even came about. And if you ask me, that's where the concept came from. They were twisted and turned backwards, started from slavery, as we all know. But let's look at the second wave of feminism in the 60s and 70s. It was already in them. It was already in them to want to be like Becky and do whatever Becky do. Becky got a problem with her man. She out here talking about independence. I'm going to do the same thing. But black women didn't realize they were already living it out. It was already in you to want to be the boss and to demonize black men. Black women were so receptive to feminist ideology because they were forced to live like feminists for a very, very long time. To say that black women reject feminism and that they don't rock with feminism is insane to me. Now, sadly, I suspect what we're looking at is Tariq losing a lot of black male support. I suspect that's happening right now. Because I've seen some comments and I know for a fact a lot of black men are fed up. They like, look, and I only rock with Tariq on what he has to say, his stance on reparations, and a lot of, if not all of his views on history. Whatever criticisms you have, he brought attention to a lot of aspects of history, a lot of important things about history, which strengthened our claim for reparations, our demand for reparation. I'm still with him on that. I don't think you can go wrong with that. There's no way to mess that up. Okay? We are entitled to reparations. Let's not sit back and let others sweep that under the rug, especially looking at the fact that other people are already receiving reparations. Aside from the stance on reparations and history, I disagree with a lot of things, especially when it comes to black women. When it comes to black women, listen, when I said this before, when black men depend on black women for their coin, they're not going to be critical. And in this case, Tariq depends on black people, period. Don't overlook that. He is also reluctant to criticize black men as well. You don't hear Tariq talking about how the gang problem needs to be resolved. You don't hear him really lecturing black men on how they need to stop gunning each other down and, what crimes do exist in black America. Y'all need to chill that out. He's just not that type of advocate. And I'm like, okay, fine. We don't need you to be. I personally feel like we're making enough noise on our own. Black women are not stupid. But, okay, they understand everything that I'm saying right now. And they don't respect pandering. At the end of the day, they look down on it. They view it as weak. They can be upset about our take all they want. They know it's not going nowhere. Our narrative, our objections, it's not just the hair. Understand, you get in a relationship with a black American woman, and I know a lot of black men didn't know this, that hair is thousands of dollars. You heard her say like $2,000 for a stupid wig, but they get up to $5,000 if not more. And a lot of them are out here. A lot of black women are out here spending $1,000 for a wig every 2, 3, 4 months. Insane. But it's not just that stupid hair. Like I showed you, those nails, when they get their nails done, $150, $200, $300 a pop. Are you crazy? And they're always out here getting their nails done. How often do you see them with these Freddy Krueger nails? Not only that, like I showed y'all, them eyelashes be costing $100, $200. They always out here getting that done too. They be throwing money away like no other group on earth. And they do it all out of insecurity. It is all out of insecurity. See, if black men, if fathers remain intact and in families, you would see a whole different black female America. A whole different. They would be natural, and they would be far better off financially, because they would not be spending any money on hair, on nails, on eyelashes, or none of that nonsense. If they do paint their nails, they're going to other black women who have a nail painting business. When they get their natural hair done, they're going to other black women who have a natural hair business. All that money black women throwing out of black community, their grooming, their cosmetic spending represents the highest export of black dollars in black America. They spend more money on that stupid nonsense, that hair, them lashes, than black men spend on Jordans, than black men spend on anything. It's a well-known fact that men in general save money better than women. Their spending represents the highest economic revenue export that don't get circulated in black America. Export in black America. Nobody is spending more money on anything, all because of insecurity. Y'all will never sweep this under the rug. The most damage that black America is suffering, it's coming from the mothers suffering from severe insecurity and an inferiority complex. You can't have the mother of your nations mentally ill. You will be destroyed. That's just what it is. So I don't have much time today. Like I said, I'm going to pick back up on this subject this Sunday. But I don't like to see this being swept under the rug. However, like I said, we got enough voices on it. There are other channels as I speak who deal with these issues, and they get plenty of numbers. Black women are not stupid. They understand what the truth is. They understand that they got serious issues that have never been looked at. Another caller called in and questioned Tariq's co-signing of Shahrazad Ali, which was a strong point, because he's like, hey, Tariq, Shahrazad Ali was very critical of black women. That's what popularized Shahrazad Ali, was it not? That's what gave her the buzz that she had. The fact that she was like the first prominent black woman who was critical of black women. And she pointed out that until the issues with black women are resolved, black America will never advance. It will never advance. And listen, I'm sitting back with the popcorn watching, but Tariq's going to have to deal with this eventually. 1 in 4 black women get married, and then the black women who do marry, they divorce the most. They have the highest divorce rates. Like 80% of those eventually file for divorce within like the first 5 or 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. That's the family is the foundation of everything. Black families collectively as a whole are not doing well. We are regressing. We are regressing. And there's a whole army, and it's growing fast, of black men who refuse to date black women. No other group of women repels men as much as black women. That's a problem. You even have armies of black women out here with their own talk shows and podcasts, their own books talking about it. They're acknowledging it as a problem. I think Tariq should as well. If black women are out here talking about it, you can talk about it. But ignoring problems is never going to help. That's never going to benefit you. That guy also, Tariq also responded by, in my personal opinion, I think he should just be honest about it. Be like, yeah, I'd like to see black women go natural, keep their money, and most importantly, instill standard basic confidence into their daughters, but into their sons, their kids, as a whole. I'd like to see that, but I understand that's not going to happen. You know, just go ahead and admit that you don't think that it could happen. And that, you know, the most important thing right now for black America is to act on certain things. Let them have their weave and wigs, but go fight for reparations. Don't go voting for a Democrat. He's basically ignoring everything and just say, he could say that. Just come out and say that. Hey, I don't think that's the most important thing, but it is. Because their insecurity is really the root cause of why they're pushing black men away. The late 1800s, early 1900s, some 85% of black Americans were married. Why do you think they were married? Why do you think we were married at such a high rate? So many black Americans were married because so many black men were proposing to them. At the end of the day, it's all about who's proposing to you. So few of them are married or get married nowadays because so few of them are being proposed to. That's what's happening. And can't nobody say that that's not a problem. It's a problem. So eventually, anybody out here claiming to be some, voice for black America and the improvement, the evolution of black America, you can't sidestep this. No, black women are the only group of women that's reversed. Is there any other group of women under 50%? Every other group of women marry at least over a 50% rate. That means you're going backwards, you're regressing. Your population is not reproducing like it was. And those that are being reproduced are dysfunctional. The women are loudmouth thoughts that nobody wants. Okay? That the guys who do want them just want to lay up with them. And too many of the men are effeminate, lack confidence, are dysfunctional. And some of them get into gang life and gang violence, lazy, don't want to hold no job, filled with a bunch of nonsense. And flat out, too many mothers hate themselves and hate black men. Black men are at the top of the list. They're sick of hateful women. Black women are too hateful and mean and disrespectful to black men. Disrespectful, hateful, disrespectful, hateful. Hateful. I'm got to repeat stuff like Umar. Hateful, hateful. They have a hatred, a deep hatred for black men. Black men are getting on cold fast and rejecting it. That's the most powerful way to reject men, is to make them feel like you hate them, you despise them. You cannot avoid this. You cannot sidestep this. I'm going to pick up on this Sunday. I'll land my plane here.